Hello again and welcome back to EQ in the Raw. So today we are going to get emotional, but of course you knew that, right? We're going to be diving into the emotional scale created by Abraham Hicks. This scale is really a powerful tool and I use it a lot to work with coaching clients and just my own understanding of emotions. Hopefully it helps you too. If you're not familiar with it, this is going to be a goodie. If you are familiar with it, I think it still could be useful to brush up every now and again, So I have my cheat sheet here. And so this emotional guidance scale, which I just kind of put this together myself. On their scale, it has 22 sections. So at the top we have joy, appreciation, empowerment, freedom, and love. And at the bottom we have fear, grief, depression, despair, and powerlessness. So, number one, we have joy, appreciation, empowerment, and freedom. And also love, of course, love. These are the highest vibrations on the scale. When you're here, you feel amazing, you're in flow, things come easily, and you feel deeply connected with yourself and others. This is where we all strive to be, I'll be honest. No matter what emotion you're feeling at any given moment, you want to get back to love. You want to get back to freedom and empowerment. That's why we do and say and don't say the things that we do and don't do. Number two, we have passion. So passion is really powerful. It's fire that drives you forward. It's exciting, it's energizing, and when you're passionate, you're motivated to take action and make things happen. So passion is a good place to land if you are not necessarily higher up on the scale. So next we have enthusiasm, eagerness, and happiness. A side note, I looked up the word enthusiasm at one point, and it is based out of the Greek, and the word enthusiasm means to be empowered or inspired by God. Or no, not inspired, possessed. That was the word, possessed. You need to be possessed by God. Happiness is a wonderful state of being that resonates or radiates positivity. Number four, positive expectations and beliefs. Believing good things are coming your way. Positive expectations, they keep you hopeful and optimistic, and you also attract positive experiences. Number five, optimism. It is seeing things on the bright side, right? It is a mindset that's focused on good and expects positive outcomes. So hopefulness. Number six, about feeling that there is a way through. Ooh, I love this one. I love hopefulness because I think of life sometimes as a game, and a lot of people would agree to that, and I used to play Super Mario back in the day. I know I'm kind of aging myself, but even when I would mess up on a level or I mess up on a particular, what do we call them? Scene? Challenge. I'll say challenge is good. When I got to the challenge, I would maybe die a few times, but I would figure out each time how to do it a little bit better, how to get a little bit better, how to beat that particular monster a little bit better, or to navigate through those obstacles a little bit better. So hopefulness, that's it. And contentment, number seven. And I think number seven is important to understand because it is just calm. I would equate it with peace. This is my go-to for the day, just being content with life. And then from here, we kind of go to the lower emotions, lower part of the scale, at boredom. I used to be a substitute teacher, and anytime a child would say, I'm bored, they thought it was something bad, it's something wrong. It's not always bad to be bored. Next is pessimism, number nine. So pessimism is definitely a downward shift, focusing on what's wrong and what can go wrong. It is a state of doubt, skepticism, that not everything is going to work out, to frustration, irritation, and impatience. So these are some of the ones that can feel uncomfortable. They can come up when things aren't going as planned, or you feel like there's a block in your way. They are a signal for a desire for change. Number 11, overwhelmed, feeling swamped or burdened, it is a cue to kind of step back and kind of reassess. Number 12, disappointment, unmet expectations. It's a letdown when things don't turn out as you hoped, and it can lead to a sense of loss or sadness. To 13, doubt, uncertainty, it's questioning yourself or your path. It can be paralyzing sometimes if it takes over, but it also is an opportunity for you to seek clarity. And 14 is worry. Worry is about fear of the future. Though it's not as intense per se as fear, but it is a sense of fear about the future. Often it's not based on reality, so check your worry. On 15, blame. And we know what blame is: blaming other people, pointing fingers at other people for the situation that you're in, and avoiding accountability for it or responsibility for it, which usually can create conflict, resentment, things of that nature. 16, discouragement. Usually discouragement can bring on a loss of confidence. It feels like you can't achieve your goals, you can't achieve the things that you long to do, and it usually causes a dip in motivation and morale. And 17, anger. Anger is more intense. It's a reaction to a perceived injustice or frustration. It can be destructive if not managed, but it can also be a symbol of something needing to change, or a signal that something needs to change. Then we have revenge. Revenge is about getting back at somebody, getting your lick back. It can be destructive, and it can perpetuate negativity and conflict. Number 19, hatred, rage. And so we're going deep into some of these more intense, consuming emotions here. They're usually fueled by deep-seated anger and resentment. They're harmful to yourself and to others. That's why you gotta feel that thing and let it go quickly. So 20, we have jealousy. Jealousy is about wanting what others have. It's a feeling of inadequacy or insecurity, which can be damaging to yourself, self-esteem, and also relationships. At 21, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. Some heavy ones, steeped in feelings of not being good enough and not deserving. It can be paralyzing and lead to self-sabotage. So watch those and work through them. Lastly, but definitely not least, fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness. These are the lowest vibrations on the scales. They're about feeling lost, hopeless, out of control. They're difficult emotions that require compassion and support to navigate. Just giving every level its respect, asking the questions, doing the work, and then rising. You'll rise naturally the more time you put in, the more effort you put in to find the causes, find a way back up the scale. Thank you so much for listening. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments some things that you may have learned from this video, or maybe some things you'd like to try to be able to work your way up the emotional scale. And so thank you for joining me on this episode of EQ in the Raw.